In honor of Mother's Day, The Blossom of Her Soul by Reuben Campwhite. A woman named Lila lived in the heart of Atlanta, where skyscrapers kissed the clouds and the city's pulse thrummed through bustling streets. Her apartment, a cozy haven draped in ivy and dreams, overlooked the urban sprawl, but her heart was a boundless garden, blooming with a love so fierce it could cradle the stars. Lila was a mother to 3, Elias, Mara, and little Nora, and her love was the quiet strength that shaped their souls, a river carving a valley through the stone of life's challenges. Each morning, Lila rose with the city's dawn, her hands calloused yet gentle, tending to her children as a gardener tending to fragile sprouts. She saw in them not just who they were but who they could become. Elias, with his dreamer's eyes, Mara, whose spirit roared like a summer storm, and Nora, a quiet melody waiting to be sung. Her love was the soil that nourished their roots, the sunlight that coaxed them to bloom. One spring, as Mother's Day approached, Atlanta buzzed with preparations. Children crafted cards in schoolyards, and markets brimmed with roses, their crimson petals, a fleeting echo of a mother's enduring love. But for Elias, Mara, and Nora, this year carried tender weight. Their grandmother, Lila's mother, Rose, had passed the previous winter, her laughter now a whisper in the city's breeze. Rose had been their constellation, her stories a map of courage guiding them through restless nights. Her absence left a hollow in their hearts, yet Lila taught them that a mother's love, whether here or in that heavenly sphere, is precious, always ever near. On Mother's Day Eve, the siblings gathered in their apartment's small balcony garden, their whispers mingling with the scent of Lila's potted lavender. They wanted to honor their mother, not with fleeting gifts, but with something as timeless as her love. Elias, now 16, suggested planting a rosebush in a community garden nearby, a living tribute to both Lila and Rose. Mara, fierce and 14, proposed engraving a plaque with a message, a testament to love's permanence. Nora, only 8, clutched a sketch she'd drawn, a crimson rose cradled by stars, symbolizing the love that bound them across realms. The next morning, as dawn gilded Atlanta's skyline, Lila awoke to find her children leading her to the community garden, their hands dusted with earth. Before her stood a young rosebush, its buds trembling with promise. Beside it, a polished plaque bore the words, "The echo of a mother's love resonates through all our years." Nora shyly offered her drawing, her eyes bright with unshed tears. "It's for you and Grandma," she said. "You both make our hearts bloom." Lila knelt, her heart a tapestry woven with joy and grief. She saw in the rosebush the fierce tenderness of her mother's love, now carried forward in her own. She saw in her children's gift the truth she'd always known, a mother's love is the quiet strength that shapes our soul, a thread that binds a family strong and true, even when the hands that wove it rest in celestial peace. As Atlanta celebrated, Lila and her children sat by the rosebush, sharing stories of Rose, her laughter, her wisdom, the way she'd taught Lila to see spring in every little thing. The city's hum carried their words, as if Rose herself listened from that sacred space, her spirit a gentle hand guiding their way. Years later, when the rosebush flourished, its blooms a cascade of crimson in the urban garden, Elias, Mara, and Nora returned, now with their own children in tow. They'd touch the plaque, trace the words, and feel the echo of Lila's love, and Rose's, resonating through all their years. For in the garden of their hearts, a mother's love remained the truest bloom, an everlasting grace that watched over them, forever nearby.